Welcome back to Coach's Corner by Watch It Golf. I'm your host, Lukasz Nowatkowski. If you ever stood over a 4-footer, felt certain of the line, and then watched it missed by a mile, this episode is for you. Today, we are exploring the world of optical illusions on the putting green. We've seen it happen to the best, like Rory McIlroy's eagle putt on 15th at the Masters. It looks one way, but the ball goes another. We are going to look why that happens and briefly touch the system like Aimpoint or Aegis that try to solve it. Joining me to break down the science of the roll. Hi guys.
Hi, Lukasz.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. Today we have Joaquin Lolas with us, directly from Valspar tournament in Tampa, in Florida. Very welcome to the podcast. And today's topic is about what you're actually doing on the tournament right now, helping players become better in putting, actually. So please introduce yourself, Joaquin, and let's start.
Yeah, awesome. Excited to be here. Thanks, guys.
Hey.
We're a little bit far down in Florida today, but yeah, we're here down at the Valspar Championship and of the PGA Tour. I was born and raised in Lima, Peru, so not a big golf country, and trying to rise through the ranks of amateur golf and then professional golf. And at some point, my dream didn't really work out of playing on the PGA Tour, but I've certainly made a lot of friends, a lot of connections along the way, and kind of made it a vision of mine to help some of the guys that are still chasing it, still trying to play at the highest level, accomplish some of the things that perhaps I didn't, right? So that's really driven me to get better at my craft. Learn about the brain, learn about the putting stroke, green reading. And just trying to help and add value to these guys, and luckily it's been working. So I've had the opportunity to work with some fantastic players, and we keep moving forward. So I'm excited to share some of my story and see what other kind of stuff we can get into today.
Cool, that's cool. Right. Even I wrote somewhere in my notes that you're the putting and short game expert, and I think all the listeners want to hear something new from your mouth. It will be quite cool to talk about the putting, the hottest topic last month.
Yeah, for sure. How did you become a coach in the short game area? What made you take that decision?
Well, I was a lousy ball striker as a player, and I had a great short game and great putting, right? So at first, when I was deciding what to do, well, might as well, teach something that I'm good at. And I think I always understood and came easy to me. So that was, I think, step one. But also a little bit of luck along the way. Old friend of mine, professional golfer, was struggling with his putting as I was getting started, and he asked me for some help. Uh, and that summer, he won 10 mini tour events. It was his first year as a pro, and then made it up to Corn Ferry. And all of a sudden, every mini tour player in the area in South Florida, Jupiter, where I live, was calling me and seeing what worked for this particular player. Right. So I consider myself incredibly lucky because I was able to learn from watching good players putt also. So, problem solving, they were open to understanding that I was new to this, that I was, so there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of collaborating, a lot of, hey, I think this, what do you think about that? I don't like this. No, I love this. And using some of the concepts of neuroscience that I learned from Dr. Izzy Justice. My wife is a neuroscientist as well. So I've been, kind of going deep into that aspect. I'm currently doing a master's in applied neuroscience as well at the University of Florida. So kind of trying to marry both worlds of the brain, but also, can you start it online? Can you match your speed? Can you read the green? And trying to bring it all together. And so, yeah, that's how it all evolved organically.
Yeah. If you look at all the best players out there on the green side, what would you say is the common thing between them? What's make them so great in putting?
It's a lot of different answers potentially for that, but I think consistency is one. I think some of the best players in the world understand their tendencies, and they're incredibly repetitive with them. And being able to match what they're seeing, right? I think it's so important. And then obviously reading the green, and matching the speed. So the three components: the line, the reading, and the speed. They're so good at it, but ultimately they've worked on it so much that they're able to automate it and just play golf and make it a target sport. Sometimes we forget that it's a target sport.
Yeah.
And these guys are, so dialed with the target. Scotty Scheffler, you can see Rory McIlroy, that was a top 10 putter in the world last year. They're so connected with that target, right?
Yeah. If we look in the amateur side of golf, I would say the distance control on the greens are the most crucial thing for everyone playing for fun. There's a lot of 3 putts out there, even 4 putts, and most of them comes actually from the lack of distance control. Do you have any advices to give to the people out there how to practice when it comes to distance control?
You bring a fantastic point, Patrick. There's a stat out there somewhere, but I think a 5 handicap only makes 1 more birdie per round than a 15 handicap.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so, but everybody's, trying to stripe 7 irons to make more birdies. The reality is, if you avoid 3 putts, you're, as a 15 handicap or the tail average golfer, you're bringing your handicap down by 3, 4, 5, 6 shots sometimes, right? So
yeah, exactly.
And then the other thing is, on the PGA Tour, the best putters in the world, they only make 50% of their 8-footers. But here we have a 15-footer on a weekend golfer, and they're expecting to make it every time and get aggressive to make it or whatever. So honestly, I think understanding the statistics of it all and how difficult it is to make a 15-footer, if they really are focused on hitting it to a foot, it will bring their score down. It might not sound sexy. It might not sound, fun because everybody wants to drain that putt. But actually, if you have better speed, the circumference of the hole gets bigger. So you actually might sneak a couple 15-footers in while you're doing it.
Yeah. And I would say constant speed as well, because what we can see,
that's right.
the impact on the face varies between the heel and toe and the center, and that affects the ball speed quite a lot and makes it very difficult to actually have the correct pace.
And now we can measure it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty
but
cool.
sometimes average golfers all the time thinking how it is possible that the professional players can stop the ball 1 feet after the hole sometimes, right? Because if we hit that always rolling and rolling and rolling, and that's why we always think about and everybody trying to understand how to map the green, how to measure the green, how to read the greens, right? And nobody know about this at the beginning, and 3 putts are normally in an average player game.
Yeah.
To Patrick's point, I mean, we can measure the impact ratio of the putts. You know, it's just ball speed divided by club speed, and the ideal is kind of between 1.6 1.8. And but these guys are measuring this, so if you have that and that impact ratio is ideal and it's consistent, then now, I mean, it's a lot easier to control your speed, right? Let's say if it's consistent but it's poor, then okay, well, at least you're very consistent. Maybe let's find a different putter that will, help you. If it's all over the place, then well, it's really technical. We got to improve your, your grip, your tempo. You know what I mean? How far back are you going? How's your acceleration rate through the ball? So, but being able to measure is so important because otherwise you're guessing.
For those out there that doesn't have any launch monitor value to look into, do you have any drills that they can do, like outside for let's say for an average 10-footer, outside the right foot, inside left foot in the forward stroke, or what? Do you have some drills that so they can measure both the distance, so they can have how to estimate of this is an 8-foot putt, this is a 3-foot putt, 15-foot, and so on? Do you have any drills that they can do?
Yeah, one thing I see a lot with the everyday golfer is, a very slow and kind of short takeaway, and then a lot of acceleration through the ball and a super long through swing, right? Because they haven't created any energy on the backstroke. So something that's really helpful is the 60-40 rule. I'm not too sure the gentleman that came up with that, but I find that it works wonders. So I just put kind of 2 marks, or actually 3 marks. So a ball mark where the ball would be. One, you say, and if we're going to use that ratio, so 60% back, 40% through. And they're shocked at how long their backstroke is and how short their through stroke is, contrary to that most people were taught, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years ago. 60-40 is a fantastic starting place for an amateur golfer.
Yeah, I heard somewhere that if you do it like that and standing on a flat surface, let's say the green speed today is then 8 foot of length of shot, and if it's a uphill, it takes away almost 60% of the distance. If it's a downhill, it adds more than double almost.
Correct.
So the same swing distance is actually giving you 3 different distances, depending on if it's a flat putts, uphill, or downhill putts. Could that be true? Could that be like a practice practice system where you can start teaching yourself the speed of the green and how far you should have the backswing and follow through and so on? Would that be an example of how to do it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It all changes, right? Because also if the green's faster, maybe gravity is going to affect it more. There's going to be less friction on the surface with the ball, so it might actually affect it even more. So, but one thing we've done, let's say once you start with that baseline of that, okay, that's what it's supposed to look like with that 60-40. One thing we actually do on Mondays on tour I'll just put a ball mark somewhere out there and then have my player hit it with his eyes closed and then try to guess, okay, I hit this a foot by, or I
Yeah.
hit this, just short, and then add right or left too. But like, so then now you're trying to match your intention, your sensation with what, and then you look up and see what actually happened. So that will fast track your learning
Mm.
significantly as well, uh, as you're trying to develop feel, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember back in the days when I was a young kid trying to play, I had got from my coach back then a really great drill to actually find the low point, and you place the coin underneath the ball, and
Love that.
you should hit away the ball but not the coins, and that was a really really good drill to find the low point of your swing and everything. It
Love
was
that.
amazing.
Hideki Matsuyama does that like religiously, I believe.
Sorry.
Hideki Matsuyama does that a
Oh,
lot,
okay.
I believe. Yeah, with a
Yeah.
T, but
Oh, yeah.
same concept. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is we always discussing about the feeling. We're always discussing about how far we should hit the ball. But in most cases, or even if you try to close your eyes, if you said Joachim, right? But the problem in my mind is in beginner life is a consistency to grab the club in a correct way, because we can do a lot after, but we have to make the movement with our club in the same way all time, and this is in my mind the most important at the beginning, right?
It You're absolutely right. I think we went a few steps forward there with Patrick.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
where I always encourage, even before I was teaching for a living, very new to the game, get a lesson, learn the fundamentals. Like the grip, to your point, Lucas, is so important. Whether it's finding the right grip pressure for you, uh, finding the right grip for you. I mean, you might benefit from being a little stronger, a little weaker, but I mean, having the right symmetry in there, uh, all of these things. If you're getting started, I mean, think about it. How much money people spend on playing golf and rounds in here? Like, wouldn't it make more sense to spend just a little bit of that and actually get educated on the correct way of executing these motor tasks, so that you can have more fun and make more putts, right?
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. And in most cases, sometimes people uh, trying to figure out which one putter is the best for them. Because maybe the heaviest head, maybe the lighter head. It's sometimes there's a lot of issues inside the golf world, and this is only
It's
one
funny.
club, right?
Absolutely, it's funny you said that because when I got into this, I thought, well, how hard can it be? The putter only moves like a foot back and forth, right? Like I'm golden. I
Yeah,
mean, my guys are having good results. Like this is easy.
yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right. If you look at the other people, then you see, oh, it is not so easy, right?
It's the hardest part of the game. Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Um,
also
And
for the amateurs as well. I mean, the different grip techniques must be very confusing for most of the players out there. Why should you use a claw grip on the right hand? Why do you have the left hand lower than the right hand, and etc. etc. And I would say it's more about those kind of different grips comes from a problem with putting, like jips and stuff like that. I mean, the best putters out there actually grips the club in a very
Conventional
easy.
manner.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. I mean, unless they're on the PGA Tour and a consultant or a coach told them, "Hey, I think you're, like Phil Kenyon, helping Scotty Scheffler go to the claw." Okay, that's
Yeah,
a calculated, hey, flexion extension, uh,
yeah,
okay, that's gonna be the. But most people change their grip 100% because they're
yeah.
struggling. So it's like, oh, I saw Scotty Scheffler go to the claw, and then
yeah,
they're probably not even doing the claw right anyway, right?
No,
Uh,
exactly. That's my point. I mean,
yeah,
that's the problem.
yeah.
So
And the grip and the catch is the one way, right? But the second is
yeah,
the equipment. And because if you
yeah,
change the grip, the equipment should be different. And if you see
Yeah,
the
you're-
DeChambeau, you see, okay, he play with straight hands, but my shaft is too short. Then may I change the shaft or maybe the whole
And-
club? It is quite.
and then you're going to have to change the loft because your launch conditions are going to change. So if you go left, if you go arm lock and you're now delofting a 3-degree putter, now you're probably going to drive the ball into the ground, and so that's not really going to work out either, right? So
No, no,
I think it all falls back to me of trying to find easier ways to measure some of these things.
yeah.
Yeah,
I would say
if we're discussing, if we're discussing about the measurement, because this is quite interesting. One more time, yesterday I think, or a few days ago, we discussed with Patrick about the loft of the putter, right? And in my golf world at the beginning, no one tells me how the loft in putter is.
Okay.
1.8, maybe 3, 4, right? And then the lofting were some players try to de-loft at the beginning during when they address the ball, and this is quite interesting. The measurement, and of course the average golfer or even the beginner, or as you say, the everyday golfer, did not even understand and know about this, and how we made to choose the right club at the beginning, right?
that's
Yeah,
why you
absolutely.
should go for a fitting, and also for a practice session with a coach.
Yeah, but in
No,
most
I mean-
cases, you know how I choose the first
Yeah,
putter,
you go
right?
online, look at the most beautiful putter,
No.
and buy.
Maybe even I go to the pro shop somewhere and say, okay, this putter could fit for me because I hit 5 balls and 3 goes into the hole, and that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
That was the
That's the
great.
problem.
And those holes have a bit of a funnel anyway, right? You ever notice those golf shop putting greens that they all
Yeah,
seem to go in?
Yeah, that's
You hit it left edge and goes in. You hit it right edge and it also breaks left and goes in. So
yeah, exactly.
no, but I mean,
So,
if I even go ahead, Patrick. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
If
George.
we even go back to your point about distance control, when we're looking at launch conditions. I mean, the ball is technically like sitting down on the grass, right? So like too much loft, the ball's gonna get airborne and hop all over the place, and that's not gonna give any consistency. And too little loft, the ball's gonna hit the ground first, or it's gonna get those blades of grass first, and that's gonna lose a lot of speed. Most actually pros that I work that tell me that hitting too many putts short, that's the first area I look is what is your launch angle.
Yeah,
And oftentimes the putter's being bent or whatever, and okay, they're launching it, into the ground first. The ball's getting friction way too early, and they're losing speed. So these things, we're in a beautiful time of technology where it can be so simple sometimes.
yeah. To understand, then it's
Yeah.
the difficult part is to fix it afterwards. But no, I think it's really interesting what you're saying, Joaquin, because when does the ball actually roll the first time? Does it skid first for a couple of inches, or what happens, or does it start to rotate the first time, or does it bounce, or what actually happens to a shot? And of course it depends on the player, but it's also depending on the putter itself, how it's built. I mean, you have the center shafted with the face in front of the shaft, which helps different people with different things, and then you have the blade putter and so on. So you're the
Okay, guys, I'm taking the moment for commercials. I want to take a moment to talk about the tools that make this podcast and the data analysis you hear every week possible. We spend so much time on the PXE is the fastest, most effective way to connect with your coach. You can film your swing right inside the app, get instant feedback, and even chat with your coach about a specific shot you just hit, all in real time over the internet. It's how to get the professional analysis and advice from anywhere in the world right when you need it. And for the professional coaches out there, their PXC, the Player Experience Coach. We know you are passionate about golf, but you need to grow your business and make a living from your experience. PXC is the platform that helps you to do that. It allows you to manage students from all over the world, analyze their data and video remotely, and show them exactly what they need to work on. You can share drills, provide feedback, and communicate seamlessly with all your players, turning your knowledge into a scalable business. You can make more money by helping more players and while providing a higher level of service. Wherever you are a player looking for a competitive edge or a coach ready to modernize your business, the Watch It Golf app are the future of golf instruction. And for now, they are exclusively available for iOS users. Of course, Android coming soon. So if you're an iPhone or iPad user, head over the App Store and download Watch It Golf PXE and Watch It Golf PXE to start your data-driven journey to bear golf and bear coaching businesses. On the screen, you see the link where you can register as a coach in Watch It Golf Academy, and QR code provides you the link to our application you can download and get your golf performance possibility bear. Take care and have a nice day. See ya.
Expert, tell us a little bit about the skid of the ball and then the first rollment of the ball.
Are you saying there's no one size fits all?
Yeah, probably. Probably.
So we shouldn't all go to a lab putter with a claw, is what you're saying.
No.
Okay.
Exactly.
Of course. I mean,
most of the people won't. That's the
yeah,
problem.
of course, because that's what we see on TV.
Yeah,
that's right.
As I was saying earlier, the ball is sitting down on the grass. If we look at it, so there needs to be a proper launch, typically between 1 and 2 degrees of launch, and then that ball is gonna skid a little bit before, and it's actually the ground that creates that top spin for it to keep going, right? And again, all these things are measurable now. And these guys are typically calibrating this on Mondays on tour or when they're back at home on their off weeks, checking that their putters are exactly where they want it to be, also from a lie and loft. And then there's also, to your point earlier about hitting a ball, hitting the putts foot by, there's the launch, there's the skid, there's the roll, but there's also the decay phase of the putt, which is when I believe when side spin beats top spin, or when the ball's about to die. If the ball's decaying too early, so let's say we're like dripping a putt in, some guys argue that you want to hit every putt like dead die speeds. Well, that ball's decaying, let's say the roll is decaying 2 feet before the hole. Now the grain, the wind, imperfections, the ball's going to wobble and fall off, right? So that's why they say 1 to 2 feet by is typically a better speed, because that ball's not going to decay until, let's say, just before or right at the hole, perhaps. So it's going to be able to carry some steam or carry through the imperfections, the wind, the grain, and all that stuff, and have a more consistent line as well.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Interesting.
But it seems to be it's easy, right? To push the ball and that's it. They first jump and should roll in the correct way. But in real life, it's sometimes not. It is different, right? Because you have to make different the attack angle, right? Sometimes the attack angle and where it should be the low point, and how you to be aware to not touch the ground because sometimes it is quite strange. Because if you're addressing the ball, you put the club head on the ground, and then you try to go back, right, and make a backswing, and sometimes touch the ground all time. And
Yeah,
this is how to do this in a correct way.
and it's a science, but it's also an art, right? And that's where it becomes, because if you're thinking about all these things over the ball, it's going to be borderline impossible to achieve, let's say, those flow states or those things where things just seem to get right. So it's so important to have a time with a coach, with get some actual measurable feedback uh, off the tournament or off the course, where you can see, okay, these are all right, these things are matched up, my ball positions where I like it, I have the right grip, I have the right putter, my ball's launching how I like it. Okay, great. Now let's focus on the target. Can I roll it over that ball mark? Can I see the ball going in? Can I visual, can I execute? But now focusing as if you were throwing a ball to your body, right? Like, but you can only get there really in that efficient manner if you have the calm that all the other controllable factors are taken care of.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the problem, I believe, for the average golfer. They need to start the ball on their line with the correct speed. And most of the time, I would say from my own experience, as soon as you hesitate on one of the things during the stroke, you're done. Everything
Yep.
is, and I would say most of the players out there, or amateurs anyway, I would talk about the amateurs now. During the stroke, they actually change the speed, or they change the starting line, because they don't trust what they just have seen from the behind of the ball, and that causes a lot of problems with distance in the first hand, but also destroying the starting line and the curvature of the ball. Or
Yeah, totally. That's where, having a solid pre-shot routine also
yeah,
is so important. Like being able to identify what's your intention as you're walking into the putt, like having a
yeah,
clear intention of what you want to do with the putt, right? Now, I
yeah,
also understand it's challenging for amateur golfers that are talking business and they're talking with their buddies to have a full-on pre-shot routine. I always encourage people to, okay, just don't be so rigid like a tour pro, but like have
yeah,
something, have a little bit of a trigger that allows you to, okay, for 30 seconds, I'm gonna get right into that space where if you walk in with a clear intention, typically a little bit harder to have all those competing thoughts that you speak of, right? Like
yeah,
most people just kind of walk in still chatting about the soccer game or the football game the night before, and then they get over the ball and it's like, now they're trying to figure out how to match the speed and where it breaks, and that's
yeah,
where they take it back. It's
exactly.
like, oh wait, maybe it breaks left, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
don't hit it too hard.
Yeah, for sure. I would like to bring up something. The line of the ball, or the line on the ball.
Hmm.
For me, it's quite confusing. I thought that, I needed one line on the ball, and then I saw the new TP5 came up with
The
double
triple tracks,
lines.
yeah.
Yeah,
Triple even,
exactly.
yeah.
The Callaway have the same ball and everything, and actually that destroyed my putting completely, because I can aim with the ball, with the line on the ball, exactly to my aiming line, or my designated target. The problem is when I stand over the ball, that doesn't add up with my eyes anymore. And what to trust? Because I see the face of the head, I see the line on the ball, and most of the time it looks like from above that I'm aiming way, way right. So I actually took away the lines on the ball, and my putting actually came back to where it was in the beginning, because the line on the ball actually destroyed everything for me. Can you see the problem, or why I had that problem? Or
How much time do we have?
Uh, Maybe we have to have more, because for me it's always the same. I don't like lines on ball. I don't like.
So listen,
What's
I'm
your
not a
thoughts?
line. I'm not a line guy either. Scotty Scheffler improved his putting significantly once he moved away from the line and being so fixated on the start line, uh,
Yeah,
and and being more focused on the entry point and when the ball's entering. Again, I think we fall back to there's not one size fits all, but with some proper, let's say, instruction and advice, you can get there. But if I could summarize it in a few points, I mean,
yeah,
sometimes the line is completely vertical, right? But our
yeah,
eyes perhaps might be a little more inside, or our head angle can be directly over, or it can be, you know, on a different angle. So now I'm looking at it from something that's completely straight up and down from inside the ball, and my head's a little more, tilted
yeah,
up.
yeah,
Like that perception is going to change significantly.
yeah,
Also, the line. Some people like to have the line just to see if they're rolling it properly, just to
yeah,
determine, okay, was it stroke or was it read or was it something else, right? But
yeah,
also, uh, I think guys that use it, what I have found from talking to a lot of tour professionals that use it or don't use it, or have gone back and forth, is the guys that use it as a guide just to see kind of where they're aiming, so that their aim is pretty good.
yeah,
At least they know they're not aiming super far right or left. Then those guys, and then they can be connected to the target and their intention, and just use it as a checklist type of deal. Those guys do super well. The guys that end up getting so encapsulated into just the line match, all of a sudden they're spending so much time trying to figure out what that line's doing and the putter, that they forget. Your brain actually forgets what the
yeah,
task
yeah.
is that it's trying to execute.
Exactly. And also, what I actually realized when I did the line on the ball, I had difficulties to actually. I how should I put it? I got the problem for me became in the setup, already in the setup, because it felt so wrong trying to set up to that line on the ball with the feet and then everything, and then everything was misaligned. I would say
Totally.
in the beginning, and anyway, and that's what I'm trying to say. That I think it's like. Now it's cool to use the lines because you see all the good players out there doing it. So I think that I also need to use the lines on the ball to become a great putter. But it's not about that. You need to find your own way, I believe, and that's why it's so important to understand your own technique and also understand where is your miss? Is it left or is it right or short or long? And try start practice on those things. Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's so interesting you bring that. Oftentimes when I get like touring professionals come to see me, unfortunately, no one ever really comes because they're putting great. Very few people do. Uh, but everybody tries to come see me to see what they're doing wrong. Hey, what's
Yeah,
wrong with me, or what I'm at. But sometimes it's more important. It's like, hey, what do you do well?
mm.
We understand that there's so many. I mean, you look at the top 20 putters in the world; they all have different aiming styles. The line, no line, aim point, no aim point. Uh, I mean, everyone's different, right? So if we can understand, hey, what are the things that you do super efficiently? What are the things that you do really well? What are some of your strengths? Can we build around those?
Yeah,
Instead of, hey, yeah, you aim too far left, or hey, you cut it a little, or these are all the things that you're doing wrong. Okay, well, let's find some things that you're doing that you do well and that you do consistently, and then we can optimize and build around that as well, right?
mm.
So I think that's what a good coach should do, is not only point out what the data says that is wrong, is interpret the data for the player so that they can understand what's the best course of action for them.
Yeah. What do you think an average golfer should have as a goal when it comes to how many putts per round you should have? I know most of the amateur golfers out there might be up to 34 to 37 putts per round or something like that. And the tour players are below 30 when they're putting great, I believe. So,
Yeah,
so
I, It's all dependent on distance, right? I mean, are you having a lot of 4 footers, or are you hitting a bunch of greens to 30 feet? So that's all relative. I think if we can get pretty solid inside, as an amateur golfer, if we can get pretty solid around 6 feet and in, uh, but anything outside 10 feet, 12 feet, like they should really be trying to hit it to tap it. Uh, if they have a solid strategy to not, whether it's, I mean, starting with measuring and having proper like launch and impact ratio, right? But like if they have a solid strategy to hit their longer putts just to tap in,
Yeah, yeah,
and then control their start line enough so that they're making the short putts when they have to, uh, that strategy goes such a long way. I mean, practice 4 footers, from 3 to 4 feet is the biggest drop off statistically, on the PGA Tour. From like 98, goes from like 98% from 3 feet to like 85% to like from 4 feet. So
oh wow,
that's a big difference, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
if they
Yeah,
can,
but it is the most. But this is the most because if you try to hit the 3 feet putt, there is a lot of things inside the head, a lot.
oh yeah,
yeah.
it's I have a funny
It's a
story
pressure
that,
putt.
yeah, totally. I mean, I got paired with for a pro member tournament in Jupiter with a very successful heart surgeon, and awesome guy. And and Rob's telling me, you know what? Like, this fascinates me about this game. I can do 3 hours, 4 hours, open heart surgery with my eyes closed. I mean, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm like, the guy's life is on my hands, and like, I'm just going at it. Like, I mean, I'm not even thinking about it. But you give me a 3 foot par putt, and I am shaking.
Yeah, that's true. And then you put money on top of it as well.
Uh huh.
Yeah, it was fun
Absolutely.
to the players now when you listen to the winner speech and he talked about the last putt.
Hmm.
You can never imagine that he was so uh, nervous about that last putt actually as he was. So it was,
Yep.
yeah, it was really cool to listen to.
You know,
Yeah,
uh,
you have to
go,
connect mind and strike, right? And this is
Yeah,
the greatest thing.
and that's where it's challenging. If you miss a drive by 5 yards, or if you hit it in the rough, you can still hold it out and make eagle, right?
yeah,
Uh, and your brain recognizes that. And but if you miss a putt, you have a 4 foot putt to win the tournament. Like, the result is right there in front of you, and your brain also recognizes that.
yeah,
Uh, and your brain's job is just to protect you at the end of the day, so that you can survive. So it
yeah,
it feels the danger. It actually doesn't even, your brain doesn't recognize the difference between a 4 foot putt to make the cut and feel that danger, and a gun to your head. It's the same mechanism that's activated, the same fight or flight mechanism. So
yeah,
that's where it gets so tricky. To y'all's point, is the 4 foot putt that people are shaking
yeah,
about it. Is, yeah, if I slice it into the woods, who cares? I can still get it maybe up and down or whatever. But
yeah,
the four
yeah,
foot putt, right, is right there.
yeah, yeah,
Right there,
yeah.
and everybody watching at you all the time
Yeah,
because
exactly.
in most cases this is the last part of the round.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it could be. Yeah,
yeah, that was the great thing from putting. But before we hit the ball, we have to read the green, and
Hmm.
this story is came right because it is not so easy, and sometimes we are struggling with, and what we should do it the best way.
It's arguably, I mean, some people go, oh, start line's more important, green reading's more important, speed's more important. I mean, I think the three carries such, but it's also depend. But I think for most beginner golfers, they don't know how to read the greens correctly, right? Uh,
no.
like we all have played golf for a long time, and you still see the tour pros misreading stuff. So it is difficult. But
Yeah, yeah, it is.
if you have a beautiful start line and beautiful speed control, but you misread it by 2 cups, then you're still gonna have no chance of making it. So now you
Yeah,
enter all these new techniques coming into the market about how to read the green effectively.
Yeah, and this is the quite interesting because everybody think about techniques how to read the greens, right? And I did not ever heard from anybody from average how to control the distance, and this is quite interesting. There are a lot of people trying to figure out where is correct line, but if you missed your speed, the line doesn't matter.
No, exactly. That's true.
So it's just
And
a
this is
lottery
quite-
ticket, is what you're saying.
Yeah. No, it's not. but no, I would say from Luka's mind right now and his brain, I know his brain is working like crazy on the greens, and he gets stuck in the moment. But I agree on the difficulty is actually reading the line that is combined with the speed of the shot, or combined with the distance that you're trying to hit. That's the difficult part to understand, I believe, for an amateur golfer. Let's say it's a pretty straight putt, but it breaks like 3 feet before the hole, and it's 2 cups on the left side. The problem is where should the ball starts to slow down and use the slope to drop into the hole. Yeah, that's the difficult part of reading a green, I would say, to understand. It's not a 10-foot putt; it's only an 8-foot putt or a 5-foot putt, depending on the situation. And that's the problem for most of the players to understand. That's why we make a lot of 3 putts out there. We don't understand the break, or how the break interacts with the ball and the speed of the ball also. So
I mean, totally. That's where, that. But nobody wants to go on a weekend with their buddies and start doing the aim point stuff. And the reality is the tour pros are actually calibrating their feet, and they know the difference between 1.5 and 2%, for example, right? Like that's a skill that takes time to master as well. And back to what we were saying earlier, oh, we watched this guy do it on TV, so now I'm just gonna go step in front of my line and step on my playing partner's line while I'm at it, and and act like I'm doing all this stuff, right? But and we're all trying to make golf faster. If we're being realistic, like that's one of the challenges to bring more people to the game is kind of we make it not take 5 hours out there, right? So,
but maybe one thing is start practicing on putting instead of standing on the range hitting 207 irons.
Exactly, to the same target.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is quite interesting what we are saying, because in most cases, even I've came with you the amateurs tournaments, and all the time thinking about hitting the ball on the driving range, right? And before maybe 5-10 minutes before starting a round, okay, 5 putts and that's it, go.
Totally.
I'm ready, right? And this is quite interesting that people are not thinking that the par is the most important during the game, because you use this club on every hole. And
I would say you
twice.
And I would say you use it at least 30% of all your shots, at least.
Yeah. And also, you're never going to have the same shot twice on the golf course. Very rarely are you going to have the same 152 yard, same wind, same hole. Okay, I mean, it just doesn't happen. But we all end up hitting the same club, same target over and over again, just looking for that one kind of dopamine hit of the solid buttery strike. And so I encourage people to spend a little bit more time on the greens and make it fun. I mean, it doesn't have to be a Tiger Woods type of grind session. Maybe have a strategy to work on your technique for a few minutes. I don't know, find a buddy, like play a game. I mean, there's so many out there, especially performance drills or games where you gotta make X amount of putts from this distance. You gotta maybe can you go have 3 straight 30 footers where you don't 3-putt if depending on your level, right? But like now you're gonna simulate a little bit of pressure. Now when you go out on the course, it's not gonna be this daunting task because you already did it, a couple hours ago on the putting green, or you did it yesterday on the putting green. So adding games to your once you've identified the strategies to improve your technique, your launch, your impact ratio, your face angle, all of these things, like put it to the test. Can I
Yeah.
do? Can I give myself the task of doing it X amount of times in a row, or whatever it might be, to make it more fun and simulate that pressure so that it's a lot easier when you actually are in that position on the court.
Yeah.
But
Great
in my mind,
advice.
I have different feeling because if you even trying to hit the ball before with your body, try to play, you have some bad technique at the beginning, right? And all the time this technique is the same, and you try to aim to in another way to hit the ball correctly. And of course, after if you are going to the golf course and staying in the different environment, not on your home course, the fun is not a fun, right? And
Correct.
you all the time thinking that it wasn't so fun on the putting green area, right, where you practice. And what we should do as a amateurs, or as a players, how we can or how we have to remember what we've done on the putting green.
Yeah, it's so important to measure and have a right strategy to improve your technique, and no one can, let's say, read a book into putting better, right? Like you have to do it. You have to get a lesson, practice it, get some feedback, keep improving. You have a process, and that can be fun as well. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, if your technique will not translate to your intentions, then that's also very frustrating, right?
Yeah, and one thing is, if I may, because technique is all the time we discuss and we'll talk about technique, and of course we are hearing about the impact ratio and the tempo, right? And the last time I've made the experiment on my side and download some application with tempo measurement with metronome. And of course, if I opened this application, I saw the tempo 4-3, 1-2, 2-4, 5-4, and which one is the correct one? And okay, I've choose the 2-4 or something, right? And if I've opened this application, click play, I all the time heard this signal in my head, right? Like a 1-2, 1-2, and try to fit inside the signal, and sometimes was a crappy hit, a really crappy hit, because that wasn't my tempo. And how we should find the right tempo in our body.
A little bit of trial and error. Yes, I mean, let me. What does this feel like? Nah, that feels a little too rushed for me. What does this feel like? I mean, because if you watch guys on TV, they all look like different tempos, but they all follow the same kind of 2.1s or 2-to-1 kind of ratio. So called Brand Snedeker, and then someone who's a little bit more flowy, right? But like the timing actually remains very consistent across the board for the best putters in the world. So find what works for you is what I would say first. Maybe you started on the wrong one. Maybe try a different one. If it's a metronome, go to 68, go to 72. See what feels, and then do it without the ball, and then do it with the ball. Okay, and then once you find yours, then you can train with it to achieve that consistency.
Yeah. And also, I would say it could be difficult, as I know Lukasz and his technique when it comes to putting. One of the things that destroys the rhythm and the tempo for him is the grip pressure.
Totally.
Yeah. So he's squeezing the grip too tight, and then it's very difficult to actually find the rhythm.
Now one more time, everybody will know about my game.
Yeah. We need to show
sounds like you
your
like
game.
to, sounds like you like to get in Lukasz's head, Patrick.
Yeah, exactly.
I all the time experiment with everything, with the speed, with the tempo, with everything. That's
He's the guinea pig in the company.
yeah,
So
that's
Well,
right.
no,
that's
I mean,
that's the space we're in, right? Like once you are in the space we're in, we're always trying new things. So how can I help people doing this? How can I, like it's definitely challenging, but it's also fun. Like you have some experiments and see if, uh, oh, can this help this person? Can this help this person? Can this help me?
yeah, absolutely, yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. Yeah,
but of course, in from my perspective, all the time tempo is the most important. Even if you try to putt, even if you try to hit a short game, pitching or different,
Mhm.
and everything is everywhere. Tempo is necessarily to have the great connection with your body and hands.
You can feel it when it's right and when it's not, right,
yeah,
Lucas?
yeah.
Not always, not always, not me. No, no, I'm too fast sometimes.
I'm saying you can feel the good tempos and you can feel when it's too fast, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes
for
yes,
sure.
sometimes no.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Gotcha.
And hear a lot of teachers talking me differently sometimes, right? I've disconnect my hand, I've disconnect my head, I've disconnect my legs, and all the time you are hearing a lot, and the people have the same, in my opinion. But in my mind, better is to hear someone on site than all the
Hmm.
time watching and YouTube videos and trying to understand if it's me or not, because sometimes
Yeah,
there are not advices for you, and
100%.
that's why we try to figure out how to do this in a correct way, and talk with a lot of people around. What is the best? Yeah.
yeah. Okay, Joaquin, I know you need to go because you're in Tampa, but
I can keep
before you
going
go,
for another hour, guys. I mean,
okay, cool,
this
cool.
has been a lot
But
of fun.
I was just a little bit curious about hearing how's an average day for you on the tour when you're out working there. Please tell us a little bit about that. That would be fun for us
Yeah.
to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays are different. So Monday we might use some technology to make sure that our fundamentals or basics are in check. It might spend a little more time on some technical aspects, but I'll typically funnel our sessions in three buckets. So technical, then like sensory focused, and then performance. So whether it's a speed drill, strokes gain drill, uh, and where we adding some pressure and see how it's reacting. By the time like Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday comes around, honestly, it's more of cheerleading than it is about coaching.
Yeah,
Make sure the guy's confident that because you already have taken care of all the basics and all the technical aspects. You don't want to be changing anyone's grip on Wednesday afternoon. If you are, it means you guys are in trouble, right? So uh,
yeah,
that's basically what it is. Like yesterday we did some technical work in the morning. Uh, then we did some putting with the ice blows to feel the speed and trying to hold targets out there. And then we ate some lunch, and then we actually gambled on the putting green against the strokes gained calculator that I use
yeah,
to get him into his routine and all of those things. Today, we're going to do technique for about 15-20 minutes, and then we're going to go on the course and see some of the putts that he will likely see Thursday and Friday, and hopefully Saturday and Sunday as well. And but go through the full routine and try to bring the tournament to the practice round as well.
okay, yeah, cool. So, but on the course and during the practice round, do you discuss the lines and the how does it work out there when you're with the player on the course?
Yeah, I'll ask him to verbalize, his intention or his read first, and I'll be looking from behind to see if, well, is he actually aiming where he wants to aim.
Mm,
Uh, and then when he hits the putt, let's say if he makes it, typically sometimes it's you don't say anything or ask them, oh, what did you like about it? Uh, but if they don't make it or they don't hit a good putt, it's like, well, why do you think that happened? Right? Was it technique? Was it a bad read? Did your
mm,
process break down somewhere because you felt the wind hitting and then you didn't back off? Or So if we can actually be objective about what happened, was it line, was it read, was it speed, then then we can make the right adjustments to keep getting better. So, and then we always try to compete out there, especially closer to get to Wednesday or well to Thursday. Um,
Yeah.
it's a lot more about competing, whether it's push-ups with some guys, lunch with some guys, $20, whatever it might be, just to add some consequence to what we're doing.
Yeah. Cool.
That's the
Cool.
pressure from your perspective, the free lunch. Okay.
Exactly. Especially I control the exercise, so you know what I mean. I can give him a really hard task. It just means I get a free lunch.
You can.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
predict the outcome. That's
Then,
good.
then everybody should hear from now. Then if you want to have the good coach, buy him a lunch.
Yeah. So, what's the name of the player you're with now?
Working with Marcelo Rosso, who's first year on tour. He's 36 years old. I played golf with Marcelo since junior golf. Fantastic guy, fantastic player. Been a incredible journey for him, full of injuries and things. So he actually gave me my first shot on the Corn Ferry Tour last year, and it was amazing to watch him, shot so well and have a fantastic third and fourth round at Q School to get his PGA Tour card. So yeah, I love working with Marcelo. He's I mean, the human component is great. We've been friends for a long time, so that makes it a lot more fun. But he's been a very great example of resilience and believing in yourself. Because it's not easy waiting 15 years as a professional or something like that as a professional golfer to get your shot on the PGA Tour. So he's an example of believing in yourself, being resilient. It's been a lot of fun to watch. So I'm very privileged to have a front row seat for it.
Yeah, cool. Is there any
great.
other players you're working? I know you're working with Raul Pereda as well.
Yes, yeah, Raul. Again, known Raul for a long time. That's been a incredible project. He obviously made it onto the PGA Tour a couple of years ago, and so we're trying to get back up there, right? His team's great under Tom. It's honestly been great. There's obviously been some challenges along the way as he's trying to get his confidence back and get back to the level where he knows he can compete. But he's getting closer. I really believe in Raul. I think he's going to get back there. It's been a fantastic, let's say, 6 months behind the scenes with him, and big things coming for Raul, hopefully.
Cool. No, we will follow the guys for sure.
Yes, for sure. We have to get them profiles and share these profiles to everybody who listens today.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. And a lot of people follow the Scotty Schefflers of the world and the Rory McIlroys of the world, but trying to grow through the ranks of professional golf is there's a lot of fascinating stories out there of guys that comes from all different backgrounds and countries, and it's
and especially if you are even the player or average player, it seems to be quite interesting to see how the improvement of the golf are changing, because this is quite interesting. Not only the professionals, right? Because we have never be like a professionals at the beginning. Everybody have the same problems, right? With putting, short games, bunker shots, and everything.
Mental side of the game, and everything.
Or even you can try the bunker shot with the putter. Why not, right?
They're all human. Yeah, absolutely.
They're humans. That's right.
For sure.
All right, guys. Then that was the pretty cool discussion with you, and thanks for visiting us, Joaquin. And thanks, Patrick, for co-hosting me as well.
Yeah, thank you as well, and thank you, Joaquin.
Thank you, guys. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks, and see you on the next episode, guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.